The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Y'all ready for this?
Booyah! We are back, coming in on the sounds of Pantera. It is Wednesday, October 18th, and at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and that means it's time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, along with
Jeff Belknap,
and our special in-studio co-host today, Lewis, and we got to give you a nickname here. Lewis Class.
That's not a nickname. That's the full name.
That's the full name.
we can work with that.
Well, we're gonna have to throw something in between there.
Yep.
Lewis got out of.
Oh man. Here we go.
Lewis skipped. Lewis, we'll get you.
High school all over again.
There you go, my man. And thank you for joining us. By the way,
Not a problem, guys.
We appreciate it. We're going to cover a lot of topics today, as we always do. But we're going to have a call-in guest very shortly. And it's a returning guest, actually, Todd Simon, who is the head coach of Southern Utah men's basketball team,
yep,
and former head coach of Findlay Prep. So he has the sort of Las Vegas roots here, and worked also with Brett Price, who's also a contributing co-host here,
yep,
who's the athletic director at Findlay Prep. So he's going to join us about at the quarter-hour break and talk to us about the upcoming season, how he sees D1 basketball, how they're going to do, and all that good stuff. But because he's one of the few D1 coaches that we actually know,
right?
I get a chance to also bounce some things off of them, to find out just what kind of a grind it is. Because
it's a
we
grind
certainly
collecting $2 million checks.
Yeah, well, I tell you,
I'm not sure if Southern Utah.
I'm not sure if they've got that kind of
Let's see if
cheddar.
That's a grind?
Well, let's see if they disclose it.
If Southern Utah's putting out that kind of cheddar, then then if I were coaching over at UNLV, I would have some
bounce,
things.
yeah,
just to throw it off of that sort of thing. So, but in the meantime, guys, we're opening night for NBA.
Yep.
Last night, and an absolutely gruesome injury to Hayward with the Celtics, and this is arguably the big prize of the free agency in the off season.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you've seen ESPN or TNT in the last day or two, you've probably seen and just one of the worst breaks you've seen. I mean, his foot was just turning from suddenly went east versus west, and literally 10 minutes into the game, and
I think 6 minutes.
5.
Yeah.
5 minutes into the game, and it happens.
Yeah. So this is and you could just see it wasn't just the Celtics and the players. The crowd literally gasped. The Cavalier players who were closest literally began heading for the tunnel,
right?
Because they saw it, and and it was just like people were just looking like, oh my God, you couldn't not see what was going on.
Well, I'm sure you probably could have heard it.
Yeah.
You did hear it.
I didn't actually hear it on the replay that I saw, but something like that you almost have to be able to hear.
Yeah, it sounded gruesome. It sounded like the bubble wrap pops.
Really?
So you could hear the
Really?
pop. Yeah, you heard it during ESPN last night. When they kept showing it, all you heard was you saw him go up, and then when he comes down, he hears the poop, and then you hear him crash.
Yeah.
It was just bad.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it at first, and my wife actually said, "Hey, did you see that play with the Celtics?" And I'm like, "No," because I'm not really a big NBA guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch the NBA like the finals, and I have some opinions about the NBA this year, but when she showed it to me, I was like, "Wow." And then she's like, "You want to see it again?" I'm like, "No, I'm good."
No. Once was enough.
I'm like, I'm good for real. That was great.
Yeah, I after that I was just like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And but we certainly wish him the very best.
Oh, absolutely.
And to a speedy recovery. It's going to be a long, drawn out process. And and again, it seems like a very likable guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him in some interviews, and you just hate to see that happen to anybody.
Well, I mean, the thing that was probably the toughest is he went from Utah being the star to guys literally burning his jersey before he was leaving. to now, 5 minutes into your career with the Celtics, this happening, which is, you never like to see that.
Yeah, and so we wish him, and certainly the Celtics the best of luck. They'll regroup. They've got a good team. I mean,
Absolutely.
They certainly showed that last year.
Well, now it puts Kyrie on notice, though. Now Kyrie has to be the man.
Yeah.
Everything he asked for to get out of Cleveland, now all that puts it on him.
Yeah, no Isaiah Thomas.
Thomas there.
He is the man.
Yeah.
And so, I can say I think he's got big shoulders, but it's a tougher division now, and I think for some of those other teams, it certainly gives them some hope.
Yeah.
In terms of that they might do.
I'm with you.
Needless to say, last week in terms of the NCAA football, absolute shockers, and everything started on Friday night.
Yep.
It didn't take long for the upsets to start cascading. Syracuse out of nowhere beats Clemson.
Yep.
And an absolute, just mind-numbing Cal victory over Washington.
I guess that's the best way to put it, because you're talking about, double-digit favorite. Should easily win into Cal and won.
Yes.
Comes out not losing the game, but actually getting manhandled. 34-point loss.
3 points.
3 points.
3 points to Washington Huskies.
And you're talking about a team was talking about being one of the most prolific offenses in the...
I was about to say, isn't Mike Leach known for his innovative offenses?
Oh, absolutely.
And being crazy, looking like he just came out of LC,
he's got the
Grateful
look.
Dead
He's
concert or something.
Yeah, he's got the look. And I'm sorry, it was the Cougars. But I think this was just like, let's just, take this long bus ride.
You think they were cruising?
I think they were cruising. I think they were just like, let's just, get down there and get back.
Well, let's give the Bears some credit, because their defense last year was absolute garbage, and they've shown this year that they're going to be able to play with some of these Pac-12 teams.
Pac-12.
But let's see what happens. I mean, they still have some big games coming up, and
they could be that that
upset
that factor.
special.
Yeah, the guys that could just ruin. Well, the thing now, of course, is that nobody's going to take it for granted.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's you can't quite hide that anymore, because certainly.
But let's be honest. Outside Alabama, who can you take for granted in college football now? You shouldn't take anybody. I mean, to be totally honest, outside Alabama and probably Clemson up until this point, those were the top two teams in the NCAA. But everyone else was a close-knit pack. Well, I mean, look at Florida State. If their quarterback doesn't go down in Alabama, they're challenging.
Yep.
You look at USC. If Darnold doesn't throw 6 picks in 2 games, that's a team that everybody's looking at going, whoa, okay, the national title might be out there in California this year.
And once again, USC won, but right along the edge there. And now, of course, this Saturday they go into South Bend for the always huge game, both at USC and Notre Dame. Buddies of mine, USC, this is a game they, other than the UCLA game, this is one that they live for every single year.
Yeah.
And for Notre Dame, I know that for the longest, the players actually have to take a test of the history of the USC Notre Dame rivalry, and if they don't pass it, they can't suit up.
Wow.
That's been a long tradition at Notre Dame. So this one's in South Bend. So it's an opportunity for USC to make a statement. Against a good team, and it's an opportunity for Notre Dame to say that we're in this too, we're for real. They're going to get a pass anyway because they're Notre Dame. They automatically have that sort of like.
Well, I mean, when you graduate 98% of your class, almost on a yearly basis, they get a pass just for the academics. But I mean, they've come out with good teams and great players over the years in Notre Dame. But I think the test for Notre Dame is not necessarily. Is going to be their offense. Are they going to show up?
Yeah.
Their defense seems to always be there in every game, even for the last 3 years, and they've had horrible games, but their defense has always been there. But it's been the offense that's really put them under the gun a lot of times and backed them up and made them look really, really vulnerable, like a team that deserves to stay in the independent.
And and for some reason, USC's defense has not been that sort of vaulted defense that I think people anticipated this year. They just have trouble stopping a lot of people, and in games where they should win comfortably, they struggle. So we'll see, but definitely a much anticipated game. And then, of course, another top 10, this time the Huskies, fall to Arizona State. I don't know if you had to take in the unders, 13-7. Once again, I don't know.
What? Yeah.
Who loses to Arizona State nowadays?
Who scores 7 against Arizona State? I think I could be an offensive
coordinator.
coordinator.
3 against Cal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both Washington schools. Rough weekend to be from.
Well,
the
actually, that was our
college.
Twitter. I actually posted on there. Great weekend for Arizona schools. Poor weekend for Washington schools. Terrible. Hey, but on the upside in the Big Ten, Rutgers wins their first Big Ten game.
How did that happen?
Oh, I mean, they played Illinois.
Who they? Oh, duh, they played Northern Illinois. I was about to say, who they play? Like Quinnipiac?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
something?
I mean, Illinois is having a rough time. I mean,
They are.
They get a new coach. They get an NFL coach. You think they're going to be able to turn it around. They get beat by Rutgers.
And well, that's the notice that they need to, as they say, get with the program.
Yeah.
Well, has Illinois even had a good team since Juice Williams left there?
I don't think so.
There you go. I mean, recruiting tells you everything in college sports anywhere outside of probably baseball.
Right.
You know, if you're not recruiting local talent, you're not recruiting from South Florida, from Texas, you're not getting big time athletes. You're getting guys that
There's some
aren't
players
hungry.
in Chicago as well. I mean, which is
Chicago, yeah.
which is surprising that you are in Illinois. You're not even getting the guys that are in your backyard, so to speak, and that's kind of a rough one for me. But like staying in the Big Ten, Michigan offense is absolutely garbage. I could not. I was like, I literally cleared my counter, swept everything on the floor, threw pillows. My dog's running, hiding underneath the bed. I was so upset with Jim Harbaugh. And if you're watching this show, and I hope you watch this, you are absolutely a garbage offensive coordinator. Stop calling that crap. You're going to get your ass beat. Excuse me, I can say that because we're on the internet. You're literally going to get your ass beat by Penn State this week.
Okay, now, love your enthusiasm, like your energy.
I did win my bet, by the way.
Don't candy coat it. Tell us what you really
Don't hold
think
back.
about
Okay, so
Harbaugh.
let me tell you, I bet early, and I was lucky because when the lines come out and I look at them, I saw the Michigan was -5.5. I jumped on it immediately. This is how I literally had to win. Up by 10, 3 minutes to go. They give up a touchdown, so I'm up by 3. I literally had to root for Indiana to actually put the game into overtime so I could win. I mean, think about it. I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm rooting for the other team to actually give myself a chance, which they came through for me. But I still wasn't happy. Because as a fan, you're watching this game thinking to myself, you're playing Indiana, who the last time you played there went into overtime as well, went down to the last play as well. You beat this team 27 straight times, and are you serious that you cannot put this team away? They didn't even try to put this team away.
And the good news, folks, is they won.
They did win.
So I'm
And
just
pushed
saying,
and covered. And
imagine
I won my
this
bet.
editorial if they had actually lost in overtime to Indiana.
Well, I can tell you this. They play Penn State this week. It's going to at Penn State. Penn State
Happy Valley.
is literally going to put the ass whooping on it. Put your money on the first half. Put your money on the game. It doesn't matter. That's all winning. If they run that same offense, O'Korn was absolutely just helpless. They're better off putting in Peters, the backup quarterback, which is the third string, because the first string's out.
He's out.
You're better off putting him in than just having a guy come in and hand off. I could literally go and hand off the ball. Come on.
Do you have any eligibility left?
I think I might have some eligibility.
Okay.
Maybe 1 year.
Might have to give him a call to find out.
You certainly send him some film.
And you know what? Honestly, I might be able to throw better than O'Korn.
Now that's harsh.
If you look at Harbaugh, Jim as a coach from Harbaugh, that's how bad it is. I
Yeah.
can't even say his whole name right now. He hurts me. But if you look at him from outside of Stanford, when did he have a quarterback? Even in the 49ers, what quarterback did
Kaepernick.
he truly? Okay, what quarterback did he truly have?
Well, you had Smith before.
Yeah.
Then they traded him.
And then they traded him.
So
Yeah.
okay, so he had the potential to have a good quarterback in San Francisco.
Right.
Trade him to get 2 or 3 picks. Don't even remember because the trade was so ludicrous even at the time. But he has never had a quarterback to fit his system.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest drama in San Francisco wasn't the quarterback issue. It was the fact that he and the GM and the president of the company hated each other.
Yeah.
And he was literally, campaigning for a job elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so there was literally 2 years that just simply kind of went into a black hole as far as 49. And they've never recovered.
But that doesn't stop you from drafting.
Oh, hey, listen. Well, it does if, somebody has a veto over who you and your staff think you should be.
Hey.
I mean, when you're as the head coach say we need this, and the GM is picking up other players, there's really not a whole lot that you can do.
Yeah, I think it was so much infighting going on. It was like crabs in a barrel.
You still have scouts that can play both sides and try to rectify it just on the football standpoint. Business, everything outside of that.
This once proud franchise, which was synonymous. Yeah, was come on, you see where they're at now.
Yeah.
So we're at the quarter hour. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, hopefully we're going to be joined by Todd Simon, head coach of Southern Utah men's basketball team. This is Southern Nevada News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back.
Retrospects is a purveyor, if you will, of historical eyewear. Retrospects is located on the second floor, right across from the chandelier bar. So when you look at our store from the outside, it looks like there isn't much going on in here. And then you open the drawers. We actually carry authentic pieces from the late 1890s to the 1990s. We have almost 3,000 pieces in here. It's like a treasure trove reveal. We do have a collection of new glasses that we have reproduced ourselves. It's called the Cuthbert and Chen collection. The safe is our jewel. It's our baby. We love it. It's from 1903. It weighs as much as a car. It's solid steel. We use the safe to hold our most precious pieces, our museum collection, if you will. People come in to find glasses that are not something they're going to find everywhere else. Not something all their friends are wearing, and something that they can tell that story. We sell stories as much as we sell glasses. We have pieces that we can associate with very famous people from history, movies, special events that happened in the past. And some of the favorites are the Ray-Ban shooter that Johnny Depp wore in Fear and Loathing of Las Vegas, the beautiful frame France Parisian plastic aviator worn by Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon. Retrospects is not just about glasses. It's about the experience. It's about how these glasses make you feel. We are a full-service optical shop, somewhere where guests can come to get repairs, restoration, can put their prescription in, can get them a quick pair of sunglasses for the pool, and can give them a really great, just fun experience.
Hey, Todd, thank you very much, man. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
All right. Oh, no problem at all.
All right, we are back on to Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. And as promised at the top of the hour, we're very, very happy to have with us on the phone, joining us from Southern Utah University, their men's head basketball coach, Todd Simon. Todd, how you doing, man?
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. Just getting these preseason practices going.
Oh, yeah. It is a happy time indeed. Round ball is almost here, brother.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's exciting for us. You know, we had kind of getting those first practices a little bit like Christmas morning when you have this many new guys. So now we're kind of learning what we have, and it's been exciting time up here.
Yeah, this is, and this is round two for you, your second year.
Yep.
And
year two, and we held back a little bit last year, saved some scholarships. We brought in a strong list of new guys. So, now we feel like we're on the road to putting us on the right track here. So, it's been a fun process.
Nice.
Fantastic. So have you settled into southern Utah in terms of getting up in the morning and know you're not going anywhere anytime soon?
Yeah, no, you know what? We really enjoy it. My wife and I are from small towns in the Midwest, and has a little bit of that small town feel to it. And so we've really enjoyed kind of growing and getting to know the community here. So it is where the challenge of the whole thing too has been invigorating. So that part of it's been fantastic.
That's
Yeah,
great.
well, fantastic. And needless to say, I mean, I was married at one time, and keeping the wife happy is very key to your success. I don't care what you're doing, but especially a coach, because of just the time that you have to dedicate, to your job. And so, yeah, if she's happy, that's awesome, because if you're putting in 60, 70, 80 hour weeks, yeah,
that's exactly the secret.
That's great. So last year you guys came down for a tournament at UNLV. I mean, do you guys have any preseason tournaments this way, or what do you got going on?
Yep. So the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we will play. We got a series that we're in the middle of with UNLV, and so we'll be at Thomas and Mack Center on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and then for the next 2 years we'll be down that way and continue to get back to Las Vegas, and we'll hopefully every year we want to make that an annual thing, whether it's against UNLV or coming down for a tournament or whatever may have you. We want to continue to come down. It's been such a good place to us, with a lot of friends down there, and but not to mention there's a large population of students from Las Vegas here on campus and our athletes. So we'll try to make that a yearly thing.
Nice.
All right. So how's recruiting been?
Well, we have a really exciting class for us. We signed 2 freshmen, one out of Canada, and a freshman guard out of Arizona that we feel fantastic about. And then we signed 2 junior college All-Americans that are going to come in and give us an impact and even out some classes. And then we signed 2 transfers, one from 6'10", 230 from Arizona State, and a 6'7" guard from Boise that'll sit out this year, but will really impact our league the following year. And then one graduate transfer in Jamal Ates, who came down from BYU, started with us at UNLV way back when.
Nice.
And so the class is a little bit of a melting pot, but really talented. We've brought in. We made probably as athletic of a team that's been in Cedar City. So we'll be different, significantly different.
No, it's beautiful. So are you still recruiting in the Vegas area? I mean, I know you have some roots down here in Vegas with coaching at Fielding Prep and everything. Are you still down here on an active basis looking for players?
We are. We do. We make a considerable amount of trips down through Las Vegas, and we're such a convenient couple hours away that we think, especially as we continue to grow the profile of the program and people see the level of basketball that we're going to play, that is going to only continue to be more enticing for UNLV can't get them all locally, and being able to go 2 hours up the road is certainly enticing for a lot of families. So
Absolutely.
That's something that we'll continue to come down, and we continue to recruit Las Vegas. So we'll hope to be that next option as we continue to grow this program.
Beautiful.
Yeah, fantastic. So let me ask you. I mean, it's we're not privileged to often have a D1 coach on our show, and I always want to ask guys like you. Do you have like one? You certainly don't have to share it with me. Do you have like a secret watering hole where you might be able to sneak in without running into 10 or 15 other coaches that you can say like, yeah, I think I might be able to go down there and grab one of these rascals without running into anybody? I mean, is that something that you guys covet?
You know what? In Vegas is kind of an interesting effect, especially after having served as the interim coach there and had a little bit more exposure and just being in town for 12, 13 years. All of a sudden, you kind of got to mind your P's and Q's a little bit. But what I've kind of found is you kind of want to blend in. That strip is a nice little spot to blend in if you want to get together with some coaches and some guys in the profession that are much more high profile than me that want to go have a bite. I think the strip is a great place because most of the people there are moving and shaking and doing their own thing. So that's kind of been become the go-to is kind of go down the strip and find a good spot and we've been known to frequent SDK or a couple of those joints here and there and kind of blend in amongst the big timers. So that's been a good spot for us.
All right.
So, I mean, just to give me a heads up, because I'm a big high school basketball guy. I love to watch the prep guys. Are there any guys that you're looking at in Vegas that maybe I can, kind of keep an eye on, in the high school ranks, seniors maybe this year?
Well, we're kind of our hands get bound a little bit from all these rules that we, in terms of us being allowed to talk about guys that we're looking at. Unfortunately, until they sign with us, they don't let us talk publicly on it. But we, the fact of the matter is, outside of you have the powerhouse schools that just have a depth of Division I players, and those are the obvious stops. But you talk about some of the other high schools that have really emerged over the years. I mean, between Clark and Coronado and programs like that have started just to emerge and become a major factor year in, year out. And North Las Vegas has a ton of talent that kind of gets overlooked because of you have two nationally significant programs every year, but I think people are catching on that you can go to a good chunk of the rest of the high schools, and there's going to be someone playing in the game that's a Division I player, which is pretty special. And watching that grow from when I came into Vegas in 2004 to what it's become in 2017 has been pretty special to watch that grow. It really has.
Absolutely.
No,
especially when you got a team like Clark that actually gave Gorman a run last year.
Yeah.
Up until I think they were leading with like seconds left and ended up losing that game. So it's good to see that some of these teams are turning around.
That stuff is so good, for high school basketball. It's showing the other programs. There's a real chance. It is an open. It's open for anyone to kind of take, and then this could be the year. But the road always seems to go through Bishop Gorman until they give up the crown. Champions always find a way to kind of win championships, but the contenders are certainly stepping up, which is good for everybody, good for kids, good for competition.
Well, just so you know, I like this young kid that plays for DO. This guy Hess. I mean, I don't know if he's on your radar or not, but I really like the way this guy plays.
Oh, nice.
Shoots.
We got a whole laundry list of guys that we're keeping eyes on down there. That's for sure.
All right.
Yeah. So have you? Do you have some personal goals that you have set for this year, Coach?
We feel like we're number one. We want to be significantly better in the defensive end. We were able to score a ton of points last year. We were nationally toward the top in tempo and drawing fouls in certain areas, things that we emphasized, but we were not very good defensively in any metric that we come up with, truthfully. And so we feel like now we can go back to what our identity is in terms of getting stops and doing all those type of things. So for us, we wanted to see significant gains in those areas with so many new faces. I'm a little bit more of a process guy than a goal-oriented guy. I want to achieve what we can achieve every game and not concede any of them, and ultimately get this program to a place where we're winning championships. And I guess the big thing for us is this is a little bit of an unknown year, and a year from now, if we're not contending for a championship, I'd be certainly disappointed. But this year, we want to get everybody working toward that goal and see where it takes us.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
much.
Lewis?
Lewis
Basketball is not my forte, but one thing I think I do want to ask is, you touched on recruiting and everything. So with a game like they had last year, Clark against Bishop Gorman, does that make you take a little bit closer look at the players at Clark, since they went up against a team like Bishop Gorman and just made them embrace the grind and really gut one out?
It really, it does. We have a, in terms of our evaluation of players, we have a, significant value on winners. Guys that come from winning programs that are competitive and have a.
Still there, Coach?
About that got you there.
Okay.
So, it does. It does make another set of eyeballs want to come take a look at him.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, what about GPA? I mean, are you holding these guys accountable to their degrees and graduating these guys as well?
You know what? We that was one of my major tenets for what we did. We inherited a situation where our APR, which is kind of a big deal for the NCAA, was in rough shape here, so our first season we got 1,000, which is the max that you can get in terms of our APR, and over the summer we were a 3.51 team GPA. We have a very structured program for that, and everyone starts in a different spot academically, but the whole deal for us is, how you do anything is how you do everything, and we're gonna hold our guys accountable in the classroom and do class checks and make sure they're sitting in the front row and do all those things that at some point in their life they're going to come back and thank us for, when that ball stops bouncing. So we're pretty proud of our performance. Obviously, we did as good as we possibly could do, and it's putting us in a good place now. And are we perfect in any stretch? Not at all. But we got guys that understand that it matters to us.
Yeah, well done, Coach. Well done.
Well, one of the questions that I have is, we have two questions. I have one question. I know we have another question, but Adidas isn't calling you guys, right? No, I'm just kidding, Coach. You don't have to answer that. I know there's been a lot of bad publicity on it. Well, we were actually talking before you got on about salaries, and Lewis actually said that these coaches, D1 coaches, make $2 million, and I'm just wondering if I need to be an assistant or something and come up there and help you out in Cedar.
Quality control coach. That's all I need. Give me about 60,000. Make sure everybody gets to class. Their homework is done. I got them in study hall and everything. We're good.
Coach, you there?
Hello?
Oh, we might have lost them.
Oh. Yeah, I think. Unfortunately, I think we just. That's official. Yeah.
So
I don't think he liked that last question. That's what it was.
Yeah. He doesn't like it.
Well, and like I say, I know that he was running, and we appreciate Todd calling in.
Yeah, no, he said he was on the move. But looking at the conference, I'm looking at a team like North Dakota. North Dakota's always been a solid squad in the Big Sky.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a tough shot to dethrone a team like North Dakota. I mean, they're a team that constantly runs. Weber State's on their way up. I think they got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
As far as like being competitive in that league, but I know that if anyone can do it, because like Findlay Prep didn't become a national powerhouse overnight.
No.
It was actually built, and it was recruiting that got the people there, and a lot of great stuff that's happening at Findlay Prep. I mean, Findlay Prep is still rolling, but I think they kind of lost a step since Todd's left.
Well, it's competitive, just a recruitment process, particularly at private schools like Findlay and like at Gorman. But I think he's going to have a tough road to hoe.
Yeah.
But I think that again, this is his second year.
Yeah.
So, really, this is the first opportunity. He's really going to start to see some of his kids that he's recruited come in, and they're going to be young. He did mention that he's got at least one graduate student that's coming in.
Yeah.
But I think by next year he's really going to turn that program around.
Well, when you're talking about guys transferring from Arizona State, from Boise, from BYU, you're talking about major programs.
Yeah.
And transferring to Southern Utah, which is, not necessarily known to be like a powerhouse in basketball. They're coming for a particular reason,
right?
And they're coming because of the leadership of the program.
Yeah. And it's great to see that there's the older kids again over there. It's not one and dones. Small schools like Southern Utah and throughout anywhere in the nation, they're the real ones that are educating these guys and letting them understand that it's not one and done here. This is where you have to put in your time, you have to put in your work. This is where you learn to basically, like I said before, embrace the grind and learn how to be a player, a student athlete all together at one time.
And really be where self-management becomes huge.
Yeah.
I think when you pick to go to a school like Southern Utah, you're also looking at education as well.
That's right.
And so, and in Cedar City, I've seen some pictures. It's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it's great.
And now of course that my young cousin is, he's a freshman athlete, at Howard, playing football, and and I get a chance to talk with him like every couple of weeks, and he was really fighting homesickness.
Yeah.
It was really kind of getting him down, but his mom flew out to DC, and just kind of let him know that coming back home's not an option. So you need to.
I'm not doing your laundry.
Yeah, and
it's tough because even think about it, for ourselves, if you're not born and raised in Vegas and you come from somewhere else, that first month is great, it's something new, but after that first month or two, you start looking around and you're going, what the hell am I doing out here? Why did I do it? What is going on? Yeah. And a
lot of distractions.
So I can imagine as a student athlete, and especially on a football team at Howard, you're doing a lot more than just saying, what am I doing here? You're seeing everything that you've never seen before and going, why am I here?
Yeah, it's great.
But and thank goodness, Justin is doing much better.
Yep.
And he's certainly got a lot more PT. But he's settled in, to the dorm life and to his classes, and he's a very, very bright young man.
So on a side note, did UNLV put him on their schedule next year?
Yeah, I don't know. I would be shocked if they ended up on there.
That wasn't a home and home.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Well, hey, before we take a break, let's give a shout out to Todd. Todd, thank you.
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on.
much.
Yeah.
Great
really
job.
appreciate it, and again, good luck, and hopefully when you come out here for the tournament after that Thanksgiving weekend tournament, we'll get a chance, and maybe you could maybe we could tape an interview or at least get down here and see a couple of games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
So we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to get some picks.
Ooh.
From my colleagues here, and then we'll get down into of course, that'll be that time, the Dirty Dozen.
Yes.
This is Southern Nevada News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. We'll be right back.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Today's tips on cooling systems. This vehicle's got about 182,000 miles on it, so if you're checking the coolant, check the hoses too. Just feel them and see if they're soft or any signs of fatigue for the mileage on it. They don't feel bad. They look like they're still the original hose, but you want to make sure you don't go too long with these hoses because they will eventually deteriorate, cause a problem. In this case, this car's got a visible leak. The customer brought it to us. We'll pop the hood and check the cooling system. First, we just relieve any pressure might be on the cap. Remove the cap. Take a look inside. We see it's kind of low. Now we'll start our inspection. What we found on this one is the top tank is leaking. It's got a crack in it. Pretty common for these plastic radiators to do that. I want to get to a shop right away because severe engine damage can result from overheating condition like this. In this case, it was pretty easy to see the crack was right on the top tank, but a lot of times we'll have to pressurize the system to locate the exact leak. Could be a hose in the back, could be underneath. Some of these are hard to find, but in this case, a very common leak, the top tank. When we're testing a cooling system, it's okay to use just water, but you want to make sure when you're filling it up properly, it's a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water. It needs the water to make the chemical work, so don't just put straight antifreeze. 50-50 mix is the best way to go. Keep it clean, keep it rust-free. So as you can see, we got a pretty active leak. We got to get this fixed, or there's going to be some engine problems. If you're going to top off your own coolant, it's really not that hard. If you got a radiator cap, just make sure it's not hot. Take the cap off and take a look. In this case, we're pretty full here, but what we have is the overflow jugs empty. So we'll just add that. Once again, check your manufacturer's specs to make sure what type of coolant you have. In this case, we're using the good old green. There's gold, there's red, there's yellow, all types out there. Just want to make sure you're staying with your manufacturer recommended coolant. And that's really all there is to it. The cooling system is a major component. You'll want to service that regularly. If you have a problem, it could be too late and cost you thousands of dollars. If ever you have a problem, come into Sun Valley Automotive. It's no charge to look at your cooling system. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
All right, we're back for the final, the knockout round. Southern Nevada News coming to you from WWDBTV.com. My name is Bill Miller, along with
Jeff Belknap
and
Lewis Class.
All right, and so it is time for the predictions from our prognosticator himself, JB the Rascal.
Uh-oh.
All right, JB, where would you like to start?
I think we'll start Friday. This game is coming on Friday with Colorado State. You know, I'm kind of waiting for them to kind of bust out in a sense. New Mexico's kind of like giving them like a little bit of false hope to people. I actually picked up the game at -6.5. It's up to 7.5 now. I still like Colorado State. I think they win that game pretty handily.
Is it false hope because people know that New Mexico is not a good team?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though they played well on a couple of occasions. But one of the other games is, you know, I've been very hard on Reno.
Yes, you have.
But they've been able to cover games. They're playing Air Force this week, which was one of my very upsetting losses last week because I actually took UNLV money line.
All right.
Up 27-0, up 30-3, lose the game. And I'm like, how does that happen? But I mean, there was some questionable plays. So I'll just give you one of them. Right at the end of the game, UNLV went in for a touchdown. The guy reached the ball over the goal. It gets knocked out of his hand. They said he didn't have a possession. Air Force took possession at that point. Kind of a tough loss for them. Just difficult to watch that happen. Marshall, which is kind of a surprise in the conference, playing Middle Tennessee State.
Okay.
Laying a field goal, 2.5 points, probably be a pretty good game. My play of the week might even be the Millennium. Penn State crushes Michigan. There's no reason Michigan can.
Do you think it's going to just be a total beatdown?
Well, this is what I'm going to say. I think Michigan is still probably top 5 defense in the country. Penn State is good on both sides of the ball.
Right.
Michigan's offense is horrible, especially if it's called the same way that it was in this last week.
So this is essentially a game. Basically, it's for Penn State to lose. Essentially,
I think that if they lose this game, that I mean they're the number. They went all the way up to number 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because of the loss with Clemson. It'll be traumatic for them to lose this game to Michigan, especially at home. But I honestly see Penn State covering this game. Probably a better bet than laying the 10 points is maybe laying the 6 points for the first half. I think that they're going to be tested at all facets of the game, especially offensively, because Penn State does have a decent defense. Michigan kind of reminded me going back to like the Bo Schembechler days, which was like run,
pass,
punt, run, pass, punt. And it was just it was tough to watch. But other than that, I mean, I'm looking at these games. You know, again, congratulations to Rutgers, you know, winning their first game. I don't think they're going to have much luck against Purdue. I think Purdue's a lot better team.
I agree with you.
Purdue's laying a 9.5 points at Rutgers, and I think that they cover that pretty easily. But yeah, there's going to be some good football this weekend.
Okay.
I think Troy coming off of a loss, and then you got Georgia State that's coming off of like a surprising win. One of the biggest point spread moves that I've actually seen late It was kind of like the morning games were over, and they were like a 6.5 point spread against Louisiana Monroe. And the next time I looked at it, it was 1.5 points. I mean, it moved 5 points like that. And then all of a sudden, Georgia State goes out there and wins the game handily.
Yeah, and Georgia State, hats off to them. This is a program that is only 6 years old.
That's right.
7 years old.
Yep.
And they are finally starting to play solid football.
Yeah.
So I mean, this. I don't think people realize just how young this program is.
That's right.
I'm glad to see that. I really am. I remember when they first started, and there were like a couple of documentaries about just getting people to young men to come in and play.
Well, there's plenty of talent in
state of Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and the way Georgia's been playing, the University of Georgia.
Oh man,
Dogs, goodness gracious. Yeah. Also, just to go back real quick, surprise win, LSU.
I wasn't surprised.
That wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LSU is a good team all around.
I actually told a buddy of mine that was one of my picks, and if you follow me personally on Twitter, the real Belko. You like where I did with that?
Yes.
The real Belko. I actually picked 6 teams that could win against these were all long shots.
Yeah.
My only losses were Vandy and UNLV, which UNLV honestly should have been win. 3 of those picks were plus 250 or more. LSU was one of them.
Can't bet against the service academies that long. You can't put them down that long.
Yeah.
Those boys are disciplined, and they come to play. All they need is a break or two, and they end up running the table, and things get scary.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, it was Air Force, I believe, or Navy that made a big jump, and everybody looked and said they're going to be national. They could end up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And a service academy, and I mean, yeah, some of these guys still play the Georgia Tech offense of the wing tee and all that, but it's still service academy at the end of the day.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, Army won their 2nd game without completing a pass this year.
There you go.
So
did you say Bo Schemblacher?
Yeah.
So we're talking what? No pass plays.
I didn't say no pass plays. Without completing a pass.
Well, it's better having no pass plays.
Yeah,
then.
you're better off throwing a couple balls. Yeah, but 3 times this year they didn't complete a pass in the game. 2-1 in those games.
All right. Wow.
Great to see.
Okay.
Oh wait. Okay, so we only got a few more minutes. Do we have time to go pro, or do you want to do the Dirty Dozen if we have time?
If we have time,
okay,
let's do the Dirty Dozen. Make sure we get that in, and then we'll go to that. So, Dirty Dozen. We now have a new voice in the Dirty Dozen. So we are going to now look at open these up.
There we go.
All right. And
so let's first give the stats.
Okay. Where are we at?
Okay, so let me find it real quick. Okay, so for the season. Okay, so last week I was 8-4. Bill and Brett were both 5-9.
3-9.
No 5. Yeah, 3-9.
Or 5-7.
Yeah, 3-9. No, 3-9. Okay.
So better.
For the year, Bill 47-36, Jeff 47-36, Brett 45-38. Which the thing I like about the Dirty Dozen is I don't see these. No one sees these, and we're like spur of the moment picking these bets, and we're all over 500, which I think is incredible.
Not too shabby.
Okay, so let's go.
All righty.
So we got first game. We have Memphis at Houston.
Okay. And Brett is taking Memphis.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not completely sold on Memphis. They beat Navy last week,
yes,
in a really close game.
Yep.
Houston, to me, the only reason they should win this game is because they're at home. I'm going with the Cougars.
With the Cougars, okay. All right. I'm going to go with Memphis. I'm going to ride this.
Okay.
Ride this train until it runs into something.
And Lewis?
I'm going Houston. I like them. They had a good team last year until the coach left, and a lot of those kids are still back.
That's true.
And they have a big chip on their shoulder because their coach left.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, next one up is Iowa at Northwestern. Brett is going with Northwestern.
I think that this is probably one of the most evenly matched Big Ten matchups. I'm actually going to go with Iowa in a very close game.
Okay.
I don't even know what the spread is. Let me look at that. You guys go ahead.
I'm going to go with Iowa.
Yeah, I think Iowa definitely.
Okay. And yeah, well, that leaves old Brett.
Iowa
out
minus
there.
-2.5 or 1.5.
Right.
I don't like the fact that he doesn't send this to me earlier, but
Okay, big game this weekend. A long-time rivalry. Trojans at Notre Dame.
I'm going Trojans.
Okay, Brett is going Notre Dame, and you're going with USC. I have to go with Notre Dame. It's the only time you ever hear me say that. But
I'm surprised you even said USC.
I thought I was going against the grain here by going Notre Dame, but I see I'm riding everybody's coattails on that one. So I just like Notre Dame so much better than USC.
I think USC comes up big with the win they had last week.
If Darnold doesn't have 2 picks, they win.
So you're really asking a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then we've got North Texas at Florida AU. Where do you, I have to? I was going to thought maybe it was
North
just me.
Texas?
Where did you get this game from?
I didn't even know those teams played.
It's got to be
Florida
North
Atlantic.
Texas.
That's Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I
Unless
know.
it's
Well, yeah,
National Texas.
Yeah.
Neutron
What's
Texas.
his name? What's his nickname? The trash. He has a
Oh
trash
well, in
facility.
Tennessee, after he left, they named the waste disposal
Okay,
the Lane Kiffin waste disposal set. I'm
I'm gonna go Florida Atlantic on that one, just because they're at home.
All right, Brett is going with North Texas.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I'm going to go with Florida Atlantic.
Okay.
Because I just nothing.
I can't say North Texas and think that's a real football team, so I'm going for Florida Atlantic.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's nothing against the people in North Texas, by the way. It's
nothing.
just,
Yeah, please.
Nothing.
No-
Nothing
no
against
hate
them
just that.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
No hate, no.
Okay. All right. Next, we've got Western Michigan at Eastern Michigan. Okay.
Can I get a central? Can I get a central thrown in?
I'll take Western, and I don't even know what the spread on that one is either.
All right. Brett's going
2
with
cows
Eastern
and
Michigan. You're going
and a
with
goat?
Western.
Oh, Western's -3.
So you're going with Western.
Yeah, I like Western,
Okay. I'm going to go with Western.
and I like them now that I'm looking at. I like them to cover the 3 points as well.
All right.
I'm just going Eastern.
Okay.
Eastern, wow.
The Emus.
Yeah,
Emus.
that works for me.
Okay. Emus. Emus strong. Utah at UNLV.
Over.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Utah.
I know that they can both score. While the over/under is 60.5, I'm actually going to take UNLV, and I like that game to go over as well.
Brett is also taking UNLV.
Oh, is it UNLV?
Yep.
Oh, that's a rare that we haven't seen.
Faith is not behind me with UNLV right now. Utah.
Utah. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Zona and Cal. The two surprise. Well, it wasn't a surprise that the fact that Arizona manhandled UCLA. That wasn't a surprise.
Man, it's been rough being a Bruin fan. Huh?
It's been. Yeah, I'm already looking forward to basketball. Baseball at this point. Just get me.
Just give me on it. Women's.
Yeah. Women's.
Volleyball. There we go.
Water polo. Golf team. I'll take it. Just as long as I don't have to look at the
I'm
box
gonna
scores.
take. I'm gonna take Arizona in this game. I think I can't see Cal coming back and playing another game like that, even though this game's at home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Arizona.
Brett is also taking Arizona. I'm also going to take Arizona.
We're Arizona all across. I think
Across the
Rich
board.
Rodriguez is going to actually do something worthwhile.
Oh, good.
Let's see. The next one is Southern Mississippi at Louisiana Tech.
Before you go over there, Rich Rodriguez cost Michigan their longest bowl. So please don't mention
That's
that.
Michigan, though. That's
Don't-
Michigan.
don't mention this.
Look what he did at West Virginia. Let's be honest.
His short-lived career.
They brought him Michigan
At
for a
Michigan.
stopgap. He was like he's like the Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I don't even think they had his.
They didn't even engrave his name.
Yeah,
in the,
his name wasn't even on the door.
Okay.
His name is not allowed on the show. Call him RR. That's it.
RR.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm gonna take. I like this game over as well. Both these teams run the ball pretty well. That's probably why the under's so low. But I think there's going to be some scoring. But I'm going to go with LT.
You know, believe it or not, Brett didn't
He didn't put anything.
put anything in there.
He was
So-
probably on the fence. We'll have to get his pick later.
I'm going to go with Southern Mississippi.
Okay.
I'm going Southern Mississippi.
There we go.
All right. Next,
NFL.
NFL.
Here, let me switch this real
The
quick.
Jets at Miami.
Jets.
And the surprising AFC East that is just
Jets.
knotted up one game away.
Well, we already know where Lewis is from. So
It doesn't matter. I mean, Miami hasn't shown that they could. They could play.
Jets.
hold on, they just scored 20 straight to beat Atlanta.
Okay, Atlanta that also stunk one up in the Super Bowl,
And they stunk one up last weekend.
and so I mean
And
they're
actually
due for
should-
one a
Actually,
year.
should have lost to Detroit.
I'm going to go with the Jets.
They just have something with them this right now, and I know they're not. The Jets aren't a powerhouse by any means, but they made the Patriots look even more vulnerable in losing, because there's no way that the Patriots scores that many points against. They score abundance of points against other teams, and the Jets, they only get 24. That makes no sense to me. None.
Yeah. I agree. I'm gonna take the Jets as well.
Yeah, and Brett's taking Miami. All right. Next up, we have Cardinals at the Clams.
Cardinals.
I'm going Cardinals as well.
Okay.
I think AP is about to have his revival.
Yeah, and
he rushes for 200 this week.
Yeah, Brett took the Clams, and I'm also going the Clams.
And then Denver against the Clippers. He said LAC. That's usually how I abbreviate the Clippers.
Denver at the Chargers. Chargers are playing good ball. Denver really looked like crap the other night, but I'm going to go with Denver. They bounce back.
I'm going to give you guys my play of the week in the NFL is Denver Broncos. I'm going to give you 2 plays of the week. That's one of them. Denver will win this game handily. I don't think the Chargers are a bad team. They played really well in the second half against the Raiders. I was kind of impressed. Phillips Rivers just does not give up. I love the guy. There's no way they win this game. This is an emotional line because of what happened last week, because Denver losing and the Chargers winning. That's the only reason. If the games would have been different last week, Broncos would be laying 7. They win easy.
I'm going
Denver.
I'm going Chargers.
Chargers, LAC. All right, last one. We got just about a little over a minute.
Okay.
Atlanta at New England, and I'm absolutely going after Atlanta. Showed their asses out. I'm going with New England. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what to pick on this one.
Atlanta.
You're kidding.
I'm going Atlanta.
Really?
They got to come back.
I think I'm going to take Atlanta as well, and I think that their offense is too good. I mean, Patriots defense is suspect. So let me give you my second play of the week. The Saints are literally the worst team on the grass, laying 5.5 points to Green Bay at home. Green Bay at home getting 5.5 points against the worst team on the grass. Take Green Bay all day.
Yeah, and with no quarterback.
Even with no quarterback. Let's go stats forever.
Okay.
Against just not having a quarterback for one game. I still like the.
I'm going Saints. Packers defense is not as good as everybody thinks they are.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, folks, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hats off also to Todd Simon, head coach of Southern Utah men's basketball team, for joining us. Join us next week, Wednesday. It'll be October 25th at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from WWDBTV.com. Have a great week.
God bless.
Thank you.